Gap funding for real estate investing. What is it and how can you utilize it for your next real estate project? So if you're anything like most real estate investors that I talk to on a daily basis, chances are at some point or another, whether it's your first deal or maybe it's your 5th, your 10th, your 20th, there's gonna come a point where you're a little bit short as far as liquidity in order to get into a deal, whether it's a fix and flip or it's gonna be a buy and hold. I'm pretty sure you're well aware of the popular saying, lenders like to see skin in the game. Typically, you're gonna be looking at 10 to 20% for a fix and flip. And when it comes to a rental property acquisition, you're gonna be looking at putting a minimum of 20% down. So what happens when you as an investor are short that additional 10 to 20% that you need in order to acquire that property? Well, you can always bring in capital partners, other individuals who may have some funds that can help you qualify, and bring them to your LLC, and that way you can do the deal and then split the profits on the back end. Another option is you can cross-collateralize some of your properties that you may own free and clear, or that you have substantial amount of equity in, and you can also bring that to the table. That way the lender feels a lot more comfortable, because not only do they have a lien on this property that you're looking at, but they also have other properties in your portfolio that they can put a lien on in the unfortunate event that maybe you're late making payments or you happen to default. So with all that being said, other than having to cross-collateralize properties that you currently own or bringing in additional capital partners, what other way can you bridge that gap? Here's the deal. There are certain types of gap funding that you can utilize. One of the most common ways of having a gap funder is by having another lender put a second lien on the property. And obviously it's going to be for a smaller loan amount, and the rates are going to be a lot higher than the first lien position. That's very common in the retail consumer side of things, where a person is looking to actually occupy a property. However, in the private sector, once again, lenders like to see that you have skin in the game. A lender does not want to see that you have a second lien position put on the subject property. They want to be the first and they want to be the only. So what if I told you that there was a way that you could still raise capital without bringing in additional people and without putting in a second lien on that property? Well, you're in luck. Today, I do have a product that you can utilize, and it's pretty common, but it's called unsecured capital. And this is so powerful because it allows you to simply leverage your credit, and simply based off of that alone, you're able to raise 10, 20, 50, $100,000 worth of unsecured funding, whether it be term loans, credit cards, or even traditional lines of credit. And the best thing of all, there's no money out of pocket, there's no prepayment penalties, and there's no application fees whatsoever. Now, typically with this type of funding, we're gonna see that the minimum requirement is you have to have a minimum FICO of at least a 680. Lenders are gonna wanna look at your credit report. They don't wanna see that you have any recent late payments. They don't wanna see that you have high credit utilization. They wanna see that you have diversity of accounts, meaning that you have different types of debt that you're paying back, whether it be student loans, an auto loan, a mortgage, an unsecured term loan, credit cards, lines of credit. They want to see that you can manage different types of credit, whether it be open or closed. They need to see that you actually have credit history and you have seasoned trade lines, meaning you have at least a handful of credit lines and accounts open, and they've been open for at least the past 12, 24, or 36 months. Another big thing that you want to consider with this type of funding is having the least amount of hard inquiries in the past 6 to 12 months. Normally, if you have more than 6 hard inquiries in the past 6 months, that's a non-starter. Now, whenever I offer this type of funding, a very common question I get, well, Joseph, what if I don't have a 680 FICO score? Or I have the best credit, I have recent hard inquiries, I have high credit utilization because I'm working on another project, my construction, my rehab budget went over budget, and then I had to put some more things on credit, which is very common. Great question. And the answer is, if you have a spouse, a family member, perhaps another business-minded friend who understands real estate and they don't mind making something on the back end as far as profit-wise goes, you can simply have that individual apply, and once they go through underwriting and they're approved, they can get the funding, and then you can still have the gap capital you need in order to get your deal done. Now, it's a sweet and simple process. The initial phase involves you just filling out a simple one-page application. Processors are going to look at your credit profile. It's going to be a soft pull, no hard pull whatsoever. And they're going to take a snapshot of your credit profile. And within a day, within 24 hours or less, they can determine how much funding you can qualify for. So for your real estate investors out there who need gap funding in order to get into a deal, do your next fix and flip, or acquire your next buy and hold property, please give me a call directly, 706-536-3598, or you can shoot me over an email at joseph@powercapitalsolution.com. And even better, simply click the link below or above or beside this video, whatever platform you're watching this video on. Go ahead, click the link, apply. That way we can take a look and see how much funding we can get for you for your project, and we'll reach out to you ASAP. Don't let not having capital stop you from getting into a good deal and expanding your portfolio. Reach out to me, reach out to my team, apply now, apply today. Let's get you situated, let's get you into your next deal. Happy investing.